Oh, what the Queen Cat? What happened to you? What were you doing? What were they doing together? I don't know. One can only speculate. Okay, make it look like I can play an instrument. All right, that's definitely always there. All right, what is good, Tristans and Tris fam? So today we're going to be checking out Gabbie Hanna's newest song called Medicate. And you know what we're going to do today? We're just going to jump right into it. But before we do, check me out on Instagram and Twitter. I think you already know the deal. Let's go. And if you don't know the deal, you need to watch my videos more, okay? What the fuck are you doing over here not watching my videos? What is this? I don't think anyone else is going to be coming to that meeting, yo. There's not even any donuts.
I'm unwell, thanks for asking. Don't mind me, cause I'm just passing by in this life. Been a while, thought that you forgot, but that's all. There's
two things that I like about this so far. The first thing that I really like from the perspective of a vocal coach, what I really like about the beginning here is two things that have changed from her previous songs. The first thing is it's not at the bottom of her range, which I think is great because this is the part of her voice that I think sounds the best. And the other thing that I like so far is that it is more chill and calm and easygoing. Well, not lyrically, but vocally. And I think that's gonna be really good for her voice overall.
Where have you been? Glad to hear it. Just one question, if you can bear it. Do you ever miss me too? Cause I spend my days still thinking of you. Should I take a pill to numb the pain? Change
Ooh, that cinematography though is kind of cool. And also there's this little cool sound that I heard. I know this is like a music production thing, but it's kind of cool. It's like, listen for this.
You. Should I take a pill to numb the pain? A broken heart, build your walls up just to rip them apart. Is this the way to fix this, or is this a quick fix?
I like the camera like circling around her, kind of represents like a spiral into insanity perhaps.
Can you medicate it away?
Another thing I really like about this is that she's bringing a little bit more breath into the sound, and a lot of vocal coaches are against breathiness in the voice, and I can understand why. I can understand that perspective, and I can understand why some people might be worried about breathiness. Of course, it's very difficult to know exactly how this is going to play out in a live setting, so I'm just going to talk about this from like the most universal perspective as possible, because of course this is a recording, and we don't know what's going to happen in a live setting. But from the recording, it sounds like she's using an appropriate amount of breathiness, and what breathiness does, and can help encourage in the voice, is if someone likes to really overdo their notes, if someone really likes to push to make their singing very, very effortful, sometimes adding a little bit of breath can help, because what breath does is it helps the vocal folds relax. Because when your vocal folds are relaxed, more breath will tend to come through. If they're very tense, then it'll tend to squeeze a little bit. And another way of saying this is it decompresses the voice. Compression, when it comes to the vocal folds, is when they press together very firmly. And when they press together very firmly, that's when damage tends to happen. And that's when bad things tend to happen in terms of how things sound. When they're sort of just like chill, and it's a little bit breathy, and it's not too effortful, and there's not too much breath, right? Don't get it twisted. You can have way too much breath, and that can be sometimes just as bad as pushing a little bit too hard. But in this case, it sounds to me like there's an appropriate balance, and I think this is going to do good things for her voice. And again, I just kind of want to clarify and throw this out there. I haven't worked with her since I believe this summer. So I don't know what this is going to sound like live. I don't know what this is going to sound like in the next Genius interview. So nobody come for me, all right? But so far I like what she's doing here.
It away. Doctor smile, kill me with kindness, and don't ask.
Okay, this beat's kind of cool.
Can you medicate a broken heart, make your tragedy?
One thing I kind of want to point out here, so this is cool. I love hearing this when it comes to choruses, and she's doing a really good job with this song that I didn't hear in some of the other songs, in that it's building. Not all music needs to do this, of course. It's not like there's a hard universal rule. There's plenty of music out there that starts hard, and it's hard in the middle, and everything about it is hard, and it's just hard. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's fine. But what she's doing here is the first chorus. Everything is very breathy and everything is very light. I'll show you what I mean.
Medicate a broken heart, build your walls up just to rip them apart. Medicate, Medicate.
So that's the first chorus. And in the second chorus, she chooses a little bit more of a chesty approach, a more belty almost approach. I like to call it soft belting. Some people don't like that term. It's perfectly fine. That's what I like to refer to it as because I think it's a good image. But in the second chorus,
can you medicate a broken heart, make your tragedies?
There's a lot more intensity and a lot more energy behind it, which is really cool because ideally as a vocalist, that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to do a note softly. You want to be able to give it a little bit more and then just progressively on and on and on. You don't want to be stuck at one volume. All right.
Medicate a broken heart, build your walls up just to rip them apart. Is this the way to fix this or is this a quick fix? I really couldn't say. Can you medicate?
That is a good choice. Okay, so something that I've been trying to get at when it comes to like the use of distortion is you just want to be able to do it at appropriate times. And all this comes down to taste, of course, because there's music out there that is just growly and screamy the whole way through, and that can be done in a healthy way. And I know teachers out there that can teach that in healthy ways, by the way. I'm personally not an expert in that, so I don't like to speak too much on it. I just like to generally talk about the basics of it. But I like here how, again, she builds up the intensity, and then at this note, it starts to get a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more hard-hitting, and I think that's cool. It works. You can even hear it right here. It starts to build. Like she starts picking up a little bit more weight in her voice, or in other words, the compression gets a little bit heavier. So instead of Medicate, this like light thing, it kind of goes, and this is low in my voice, so it's not gonna translate exactly, but she changes it from Medicate to Medicate. It's almost like you're pulling up a little bit more weight, and then she takes it to the next level and adds a little bit of distortion. I like this actually. Okay, that sounds really good and really effortless. I like that. But there's still intensity behind it, and it's still belty, but it's not belty. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have not heard this. I like. That was a nice belt too. I think, okay, so a little bit of criticism. I think if she were to do it that way live, she might run into some of the same problems with Monster, but it's good. I like it. It's nice. Here's one thing I kind of want to say really quick. This is kind of a side tangent, but I know what people are going to say right now. They're going to say, and I understand the perspective, by the way, they're going to say, oh, well, she can sing with auto-tune, but when it comes to live singing, she can't sing or whatever. So one thing I quickly want to say is just from the perspective of a vocal coach and working with people that have done studio recordings and been in the studio with people who are doing those recordings, the biggest thing is not auto-tune. This is a whole separate video topic that I might do at some point, but auto-tune is not what makes someone sound like a good singer. If you auto-tune a bad singer, it's going to sound like an auto-tuned bad singer. It just is. The real thing that makes singing in the studio different from singing live is in the studio, you can record multiple times, and you can record one note multiple times. So you might have, for example, this is just an example, you might suck 99% of the time, but 1% of the time it's good. And so that's what gets into the studio recording. But anyway, I can tell that behind the production, there's a good note behind this high note here. So it's possible that when that comes out live, it might all not be perfect, but in this recording, that came out very nicely. And actually this whole... This is so nice. I love this. I love that it's all in a good part of her range too. Like the bottom isn't too low, the highs aren't too crazy high, and they don't necessarily go 100% there. They kind of do, and anyway, this is nice. Okay, I'm sorry that I talked for so long, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video with me. If you did like this video, be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And until next time, Tristan's and Tris fam. Peace out.